Manchester's forgotten history that still shapes the UK. Manchester's story is woven deep into the fabric of Britain. Behind its modern skyline of glass towers and trams lies a city that changed not only itself, but the entire United Kingdom. From sparking the Industrial Revolution to shaping democracy, women's rights, and even science, Manchester has repeatedly reinvented Britain's destiny, yet much of its powerful legacy is overlooked today. In this video, we'll rediscover Manchester's forgotten history that still shapes the UK, a journey through innovation, rebellion, and human spirit that continues to echo across time. The birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. Before Manchester became known for football and nightlife, it was the beating heart of the Industrial Revolution. In the late 18th century, it transformed from a modest market town into the world's first true industrial city. Its cotton mills, powered by steam engines, and the nearby River Irwell, churned out textiles for every corner of the globe. By the mid-1800s, Manchester was producing half of the world's cotton goods. Factories lined its skyline, and the city earned the nickname Cottonopolis. People from across Britain and far beyond flocked here seeking work and opportunity. The air may have been thick with smoke, but it also carried the pulse of invention. Manchester symbolised progress, ambition, and the new idea that ordinary people could fuel extraordinary change. This industrial legacy still defines Britain's urban identity. The country's modern manufacturing and engineering roots can trace their DNA back to Manchester's workshops. Today's technology hubs and northern powerhouse vision carry the same spirit, proof that innovation is part of Manchester's timeless character. The Peterloo Massacre and the birth of reform. Few moments in British history are as defining or as tragic as the Peterloo Massacre. On August 16, 1819, around 60,000 people gathered peacefully at St. Peter's Field in Manchester. Their demand was simple: fair representation in Parliament. Britain's political system heavily favoured wealthy landowners, leaving industrial workers without a voice. But when mounted troops charged the crowd, chaos erupted. At least 18 people were killed and hundreds wounded. The name Peterloo, a grim play on the Battle of Waterloo, became a symbol of oppression, but also of resilience. The outrage that followed spread across Britain, inspiring reform movements that eventually led to the Great Reform Act of 1832 and later extensions of the vote. Manchester, through tragedy, helped sow the seeds of British democracy. Even today, the call for social justice, equality, and fair governance echoes from that field. Peterloo wasn't just a local tragedy, it was a national awakening that continues to shape the UK's political conscience. Chetham's Library, Britain's oldest public library. Tucked away in the heart of Manchester stands Chetham's Library, founded in 1653 and still open to readers today. It's the oldest surviving public library in the English-speaking world, a place where knowledge was made freely available long before education was universal. Chetham's is more than a historical landmark. It represents a shift in thinking. At a time when learning was largely a privilege of the rich, this library welcomed anyone with curiosity. Its collection of rare manuscripts and early printed books inspired great thinkers like Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, who studied there in 1845. The very idea of open access to knowledge, which we now take for granted through schools, libraries, and even the internet, found fertile ground in Manchester centuries ago. It's fitting that the city later became home to world-class universities and research centres. Chetham's laid the foundation for Manchester's role as a beacon of learning and literacy across Britain. Birthplace of the suffragette movement. Manchester's influence on social progress reaches far beyond industry and politics. It helped give women a voice. In 1903, Emmeline Pankhurst founded the Women's Social and Political Union, WSPU, from her home at 62 Nelson Street in Manchester. Her rallying cry, deeds, not words, would change history. The suffragettes' campaign for women's voting rights began here in a modest red brick home. What followed was one of Britain's most determined social movements: protests, arrests, hunger strikes, and ultimately, victory. Manchester's support for women's rights was not accidental. The city's working-class women had long been part of the industrial workforce, running looms and managing households. They knew resilience. When Pankhurst lit the flame, Manchester's spirit of determination fueled it into a national fire. Today, the Pankhurst Centre stands as both museum and memorial, reminding visitors that the fight for equality began in Manchester. Its legacy lives on every time a woman casts her vote in the UK. The world's first intercity railway. When the Liverpool and Manchester Railway opened in 1830, it didn't just connect two cities, it connected an entire nation. This was the world's first intercity passenger railway, and its success transformed Britain forever. For the first time, ordinary people could travel faster than a horse could carry them. Cotton, coal, and other goods moved quickly between factories and ports. The experiment was so successful that railways soon crisscrossed the entire country, setting the blueprint for modern public transport. Manchester's role was crucial. It proved that industrial cities could link and grow through shared infrastructure, the same principle that underpins Britain's transport systems today. Standing at Manchester's Museum of Science and Industry, visitors can still see the old Liverpool Road Station, the world's oldest surviving passenger terminal. It's a quiet reminder that every time a train pulls out of a British station, it's echoing Manchester's 19th century innovation. The cooperative movement's roots in Rochdale. Just north of Manchester, in 1844, a group of 28 working men changed the course of economic history. Known as the Rochdale Pioneers, they opened a small shop selling butter, sugar, flour, and oats. But what they really sold was fairness. Their principles, open membership, democratic control, and honest pricing, laid the foundation for the modern cooperative movement. Each member had one vote, profits were shared, and everyone benefited equally. This approach spread quickly, influencing trade unions, mutual societies, and even modern ethical businesses across the UK. The cooperative spirit still thrives today, from supermarkets like the Co-op to community-owned pubs and renewable energy projects. It all began in Greater Manchester, with people who believed that business could serve community rather than profit alone. The University of Manchester's scientific breakthroughs. Manchester didn't stop changing the world when the smoke cleared from its mills. Its scientists picked up where its inventors left off. At the University of Manchester, groundbreaking discoveries have reshaped modern science. In 1917, physicist Ernest Rutherford achieved what many thought impossible: splitting the atom. This discovery paved the way for nuclear science, energy, and medicine. Fast forward to 2010, and Professors Andrei Geim and Kostya Novoselov isolated graphene, a single layer of carbon stronger than steel and thinner than paper. Their work earned the Nobel Prize in Physics and opened new frontiers in technology. These breakthroughs show that Manchester's gift to Britain isn't just in its past, it's in its ongoing curiosity. The city's universities continue to lead in materials science, engineering, and renewable energy. From atom splitting to graphene labs, Manchester keeps proving that discovery is in its DNA. Manchester and the birth of the British Labour Party. In 1900, Manchester once again made history, this time in politics. Representatives of trade unions, socialist groups, and workers' societies gathered at the Mechanics' Institute on Princess Street. Their goal was to create a unified political voice for the working class. From that meeting emerged what would become the Labour Party, a force that would reshape British politics. Within decades, Labour would form governments, establish the National Health Service, and champion social welfare. Manchester's working-class roots made it the perfect birthplace for such a movement. The city's mills and workshops had long been filled with people demanding dignity, better wages, and fair treatment. The Labour Party simply formalised that fight into a political platform. Today, the original Mechanics' Institute still stands, a quiet monument to the city where ordinary people built a party that would give them a voice in Westminster. Manchester's forgotten history isn't really forgotten. It's hidden in plain sight. From cotton mills to libraries, suffragettes to scientists, this city has continually redefined what Britain can be. Manchester's story is the story of the UK itself, bold, inventive, and forever shaping the world beyond its streets. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.